balance in sport.
Sport might be fair, but the balance between men and women in the sector is not, according to the Council of Europe and the European Union. A joint project, Balance in Sport, has identified areas where the gender gap still exists.
The most significant is in media reporting and in leadership, but it starts already in participation in sport.
Statistics supplied by the Council of Europe show that women tend to practice sport or other physical activity less often than men in the European Union. 37% of women exercise or play sport at least once a week, whereas 45% of men do so. The biggest difference between the sexes is in the 15 to 24 age group. 55% of young women took part in sport or other physical activity at least once a week, compared with 75% of young men. But the most glaringly obvious imbalances between men and women in sport are in media. More than 90% of sports articles are written by men. And what are they writing about predominantly? 85% of their effort goes into writing about men in sport. And when it comes to leadership in sport, fewer than 5% of the presidents of national Olympic committees are women, and fewer than a quarter of women are coaches or trainers.
En boxe, il y a encore très peu de femmes qui entraînent.
In boxing, there are very few women trainers. Those that we see at the moment are female boxers who have just finished their career. We see more and more women who are becoming boxing coaches, but will need more time for them to be accepted. It's a struggle which is quite complicated, to be able to be respected and accepted as such, especially by their male peers.
Surtout par les homologues masculins.
Since 2015, the Council of Europe has been inviting member state governments to develop policies and programmes to get a better gender balance in public authorities and public bodies related to sport. Member states are also encouraged to integrate a gender perspective in all areas of decision-making. A similar recommendation was made by the Council of the European Union.
The Council of Europe has developed a recommendation on gender mainstreaming in sport, and gender mainstreaming means that it's not the duty for a core group of specialists to promote gender equality, but that it should be everyone's duty, and that everyone involved in offering, developing sports or strategies or public policies in sport should measure the impact of these activities on the participation of women and men in sport. And the aim of having these indicators will enable to measure the progress, to benchmark which sport, which country have made more progress, and to help to build evidence-based policies.
Je reste positive et j'ose espérer que l'égalité.
I remain positive. I'd like to hope that we'll get closer and closer to equality. That's why we need to communicate good practice and really encourage young girls. From a young age, we need to push little girls to practice a sports activity, whether it's for pleasure or for competition. So from an early age, we should impress upon them the need to do some sport and to talk about its educational value. Also its values on health, both mental and physical, that come from doing sport.
Et puis les valeurs aussi sur la santé mentale et physique que peut apporter le sport.